We know that during the course of the original shoot for WandaVision and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, pretty major alterations had to be made to some scenes and even entire storylines. Now we hear about the flashback sequence involving Bucky Barnes, which was all in fact changed, and we now know what the original version was. So let's get to that. So the sequence of the Winter Soldier we got in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was Bucky having that nightmare, which of course reveals to us the flashback that ties it to his story with his landlord and everything. That's one of those important things that further established how Bucky Barnes is trying to really, find his peace and deal with his wrongs, if you will, and also try to give some closure to some of the people around him. Well, it was revealed that instead of that sequence playing out like that, this is where originally they were going to be in Puerto Rico. But of course, there was a earthquake, I believe, that hit Puerto Rico, and then things had to be changed. So the way that they decided to deal with that was put it into more of a close quarter, tightly shot sequence like we see in what we got, instead of this whole castle section they said that it was a part of, with a whole coup attempt and all that, which honestly does sound pretty cool. But then again, if the sequence still plays out more or less the same, I don't think it matters where they're at, unless for some reason they were going to use Puerto Rico as some sort of bigger thing that ties into more elements of the episode, or maybe the future in some way, shape, or form. Then I could see that being a factor in it. But if you go back and watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you're going to notice there's quite a few sequences that are weirdly shot. Very tight, close up to the faces, and only like two characters, maybe three tops, standing around. Sometimes not even together on the same scene. Again, reshoots and having to follow the new strict guidelines and schedules for shooting and all that. This was sort of something that just had to happen. So ultimately, they at least were still able to make some sort of version of that sequence play out, even if it's not the original intended version. But at the same time, you always got to wonder what could have been, and was it something a little bit more that they had to cut out? Which, since we've learned that there was a few elements like that in both WandaVision and Falcon that were cut.